Someone brought me opportunity about 20 years ago, one of my friends. I didn't really want to be his partner, so I met with the guy. He trained me for 30 days, and here we are in year 21.
Come on. So this guy asked you to get into pest control, and you're like, nope, I'm going to do it by myself. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Boardroom Buzz. I'm your host, Jeremy Julio, here with my twin brother, Jason Julio, and we are the Blue Collar Twins. Today, we're sitting down with Carme from Anchor Pest Control right here in New Jersey, an operator who's in the trenches, building, growing, and figuring it out in real time. This is exactly what we love, real conversations with real business owners. Carme and Reino, welcome to the Boardroom Buzz. How's everything going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're super excited. We have another pest control operator here in New Jersey with us. So right here in our backyard, we get the opportunity to get people on from all over the place, and to have someone in New Jersey on the show is great. Carme, where in New Jersey are you?
So we're out of East Brunswick.
So you're out of East Brunswick, but you do the tri-state area, correct? You do New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Commercially, yes. Residentially, we used to stick around our offices, which is East Brunswick, Devon, PA, Voorhees, and Wayne, New Jersey.
Awesome. So let's get started. Anchor Pest Control, how'd you get into the business?
Someone brought me opportunity about 20 years ago. One of my friends wanted me to know if I wanted to partner with him buying a company. His brother's friend was retiring, moving to North Carolina. I didn't really want to be his partner, so I met with the guy. He trained me for 30 days, and here we are in year 21.
Come on. So this guy asked you to get into pest control, and you're like, nope, I'm going to do it by myself.
He asked me to partner buying the company from the guy. Still my best friend in the world. I just didn't want to be his partner.
Did he move forward with pest control?
No, he didn't. He kept doing his own thing. He did a little bit of everything. So he just brought me to the guy. I'm like, I'll do it myself. So I met with the guy, bought the company off the guy, and here we are.
And what year was that?
2005.
And how big was the company when you bought it?
One person. It was just him, 130,000.
Wow. And what was it, dollar for dollar? What'd you buy it for?
I bought it for dollar, the good old days, right?
Yeah. And what'd you do before you got into pest control?
I was an IT guy, so I was working, supporting for hedge funds. I fixed Bloomberg routers. So I was working in Bryant Park, right above beautiful office, for a real small hedge fund called XE Capital. And it was the easiest job in the world. I had 5 traders at that point. So it was very relaxed. Prior to that, same thing. I worked for Bear Stearns. I worked for Citibank, just different trading firms.
Dude, so what did you see, like the writing on the wall? Do you feel like there's an opportunity? What made you go from that type of industry into pest control? Because at that time, 2005, I don't think it was looked at as much as it is now. It wasn't looked at under the same scope as it is now.
Yeah, I just wanted to be my own boss, be my own business. Being in corporate America, not having a college degree, you get passed over for certain opportunities, certain jobs I'd apply for, I just wasn't getting. So I always knew my best way to do it is just kind of control my own destiny. So do something on my own.
So 30 days, you kind of got up and going. What was that first year like? Was there a lot of learning going on? What did that business look like? Did it go backwards? Did you lose money that first year?
There was tons of learning. We didn't go backwards. I knew I had some good connections that I would grow the business, but I did some things that I probably shouldn't say, as far as treatment. We had a lot of restaurants back then. Now we almost have no restaurants. I'm not going to say I dragged a termite hose into a restaurant to spray for roaches, but I might have.
That's like ignorance at the time. You didn't really know better, right? It was
more is better. I was going to drown them, I guess. That was the that was the thought process.
Carme, where are you from?
I grew up in Woodbridge, New Jersey, Island.
Okay.
And I've been in Old Bridge for like the last 17, 18 years.
Old Bridge. So was Anchor primarily a commercial pest control company?
It was probably 50-50 when I took over. A lot of restaurants, some office, and then what we'd call seasonal services. We go out once a year, cover them for 3-4 months, and that was kind of what it was made of.
And what's your commercial to residential currently?
So we're 60-40 now, 60 commercial, 40% residential. But as of 3 years ago, it was probably 99% commercial. And majority of our commercial is multifamily, apartments, condos. And people would tell me throughout the time, you want residential, it's much more profitable. And I just didn't want to listen until I started listening. and then little by little, we just kind of, took the residential and ran with it.
A lot of those commercial, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm naive to that space. Is a lot of it relationship based?
Yeah, so it's all relationship based. Like I said before we got on, I was just at a trade show this morning. So you go to trade shows, you meet property managers, and you just build a name, and little by little get referred more and more and more. So So it's almost all relationship based.
And with the project management companies?
Yeah, the property management companies, they bring it in and just build it over years.
You know, are you familiar with Jason Carpenter?
Not sure, no.
Environmental Pest Control, EPM, out of Illinois, Chicago. Where's he out of? Either way, he was the same way. He had, I want to say 90% of his business was apartment complexes, commercial type style contracts and stuff. And he started to pivot also because I guess the longevity of the value of that customer is more valuable in that residential space. Having a balance of it is important, but to be so heavily in that space, 90%, I think you're making the right move by kind of.
Yeah, the biggest issue, honestly, like the margin's less, but it's waiting for your money. So, we have owed money, you're dealing with major corporations that they ain't paying you in 30 days. They're supposed to. We're getting collecting 45, 90, and the bigger you get, you have more bills and cash flow becomes a real struggle. Even though it looks great on paper, it doesn't always look good in the bank because you're waiting for this to get approved, for that to get approved. So yeah, it becomes a struggle.
Josh also is heavy in that space also, and he's changing it a little bit back the other way also.
Josh was, yeah.
Focusing more on the residential space. So where are you at today? How big are you now?
So we did 8.5 last year. We're trending towards 11 this year. So the goal is 11 million. We'll see how close we get to it.
That's amazing.
I have aggressive goals.
I think you got to aim high though, right? I mean, you aim high, you miss by a little bit, you're still doing pretty good. That's a nice jump, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's all strategic. Like I have a CFO, I have a very good vice president. So like in the past, I would just throw a number out there, right? We actually have a plan of action, what we have to do, how many leads we have to get where we want to get. So yeah, I just throw it out there. Last year we grew like 26% and we didn't really spend tons on marketing. So I was like, oh, well, if we could do that, what if we spend, 10 to 15% on marketing and branding? What could we really do? So we went through a rebrand over the winter, which is going great, fun, kind of stressful.
It is fun, right? I love that part of the business. I love the branding, the marketing, and what did you like about it?
Well, it's just rewrapping the truck. So I'm rewrapping like 30 trucks, I need anything that was newer, we're rewrapping. So like, and that was fun, ordering all the new stuff. The amount of money they charge you to make your logo is crazy. But it's well worth it. Like I'll say in the short time we've done it, like just the brand awareness has been a lot better than I ever seen before. We ran a billboard campaign with it as well. So we have a lot of boards in our service area. So that's working too. Just trying to get the word out, like the new brand. And it's been pretty good so far.
What's the brand? What is it?
It's Anchor Pest Control. I just changed the logo. We put we had an original bedbug dog, Anchor. So how I got in multifamily was bedbugs, right? So someone convinced me to get a bedbug dog. I named him after the company Anchor. He passed away last year. So when I did the rebrand, they're like, well, tell me a little bit about your story. So we told them how we started and they come back with a dog logo. And I'm like, oh, this is great. What if you can make the dog look like our original dog? And we sent them pictures and they got it pretty close.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how are you strategically placing your billboards to get visibility?
All up and down our service area. So like our major residential service area is the Middlesex County, Monmouth County area. So if you get off the turnpike at exit 10 and 11, we have one there, and then all down Route 9 through almost Freehold, we have them strategically placed that you can't miss them if you're driving down there.
You still keeping that marketing budget under 10%?
Marketing and branding, it's kind of two different things. We had a call with my marketing company yesterday, and they're talking about our ROAS, and it was a little less than I expected. I said, oh, are you including the billboards? And she's like, oh, I'm like, well, that's on me, because to me, the billboards was a branding play, not a marketing play. So we'll probably come 12 to 14, depends when I pull the billboards off, if I put everything in.
Are you doing a lot on social media?
Yeah, we do a ton on social media. We had a VA doing it for a while for us. She does a great job. We just signed with a CMO company who basically does everything for us, like not in-house, but they find the right vendors. So we do a lot of social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else.
So you've been in business for 21 years, right?
Yes.
Right. So right now you're at about 8.5 million. At what point did you start building revenue and feeling that, hey, I'm onto something here?
I mean, I always thought it. Like I'm a very competitive person, right? So like I can remember days where, PCT 100 would come out, like, oh, I'm going to get here in 2 years, So I got to say from the beginning, but when it really started getting traction, like we hit 2 million and
what year was that about? Like how long did it take you to get to 2 million?
I probably got to 2 million in, maybe it took me like 6 or 7 years to get there.
Okay.
6 or 7 years. And once we got to 2 million, I had to make more investments in the company. And then once we got past 2, it just kind of kept going.
Well, did you have any like key investments that you invested in that maybe got you moving a little faster?
I mean, I always invested in people. I always were hired for the next level. So there was one point I was a $2 million company, but a full-time entomologist. Don't ask me for what. Great guy, still friends with him. But met with him. He didn't like where he was. We hired him. And I'm like, all right, what do I do with an entomologist? And the answer was nothing. Like, there was really nothing to do with it. Like, he helped us train and stuff. One of the big keys, it was bringing on who's now my VP. He was with Cooper for years, and I was doing EOS, and I had Phil as my implementer. And he's like, oh, I have a guy who's looking to leave. He's not very happy. And I brought the fellow James on, and James is brilliant. He's very organized. I'm not very organized. So EOS, and then bringing him on, where we got more structure, which really just made it more predictable.
Was that at that $2 million mark still?
I probably brought out EOS around 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get officially trained in EOS and implemented it throughout your whole company?
Yeah, we had an implementer. I used to go off my gut. EOS, what it did for us is there's no more gray. It's black and white. Everyone has a number. Every position has a goal. Every position knows if they're doing a job correctly. We talk about it. For us, that was the big part of it.
You mentioned you have about 30 vehicles. How do you structure your team? You have your technicians, you have foremen, and then...
Yeah, we have service managers, right? So this is one of the biggest struggles I feel is getting a service manager, right? So through the years, we hired great techs, put them as service managers, and there's struggles because they're not great at leading people. They're better technicians than they are, leaders, right? So right now if we do lead techs, like a lead tech trains, they do QA, right? And then we have service managers who sit above them, who does more of the leadership stuff as far as like holding you accountable to your numbers and running that type of stuff.
So your training, we had a nice little meeting with a local guy around here, power washer. And are you familiar with Trainual?
Yes.
So we for our company, when we had Last Bite, we utilized Trainual. We built it out and we used it to train our technicians and our office staff. And it was a really good tool. It was a little bit expensive, but what this one kid is doing, he's taking the school community and he's building it out as like a Trainual. And are you familiar with school communities or no?
You mean like as far as like that's the AI, one of the AI programs?
No, school is it's just like it's like a business Facebook basically. You could structure and build out SOPs and you put a video up there and you create an SOP for your office staff, inbound calls, outbound calls. You create an SOP for your technicians on how you want them to approach a house, what they have to do after they're done servicing a property, and you implement these videos. But it was very similar, I felt, to Trainual, but only a fraction of the price. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, there's ways to do this now much cheaper. We had one for like a year that we never even used. Like I think I put nothing. We were supposed to make videos of PowerPoints. We had like 2 things into Now we use Clipboard. That's our CRM. They have a training feature where we can put all our documents in there and we could add videos to it. So basically it's like our clip media where they can go and look up the SOPs and search it. I'm in the process of building with Google. I can make basically our own AI where you could search it. I'm feeding it all our SOPs. So we're a Google company. So if they go on and they talk to the bot, I haven't named it yet. Like Jason's the bot. Hey, Jason, when do we get paid next? And you ask it the question and it pulls from all of our documentation and gives them the answers.
That's really funny. I try to do something exactly like that, but with an agent on ChatGPT. I took a bunch of SOPs that I had and threw them in there, and I wanted to do something. I think that's genius. I think that's great. I think more people probably need to do something like that. Clipboard, is that a new platform?
So you ever hear of Plunkett's Pest Control out of Minnesota?
Yes.
So it was Plunkett's internal software for years. They just went to market with it probably 5 or 6 years ago. So we're probably one of, say, 20 companies on it.
Is it more geared towards like the commercial side?
Here's what I'll say. Here's what sold me on it. It's how efficient it is. So I went to Minnesota because I like to do things in person to check out what it was like. And they're a $100 million company. They have 29 office staff. Doing the math in my head, I'm like, hold on. You got 29 people in your office? I'm like, it's like $400,000 of revenue per person, right? Roughly. I mean, it's $4 million. And I'm like, I think about what we had. I'm like, wait, I'm sold. Like, because it's really efficient. It's very easy to use, like point and click. I don't know what you guys use in the past. Like Pestback can be clunky. It's very
we use field routes.
It's very user friendly. And then, you deal with the owners of the company. They're pretty hands on. So if I have a question, even though they don't like it, I'll email that and they're pretty responsive. So
how long have you been on that?
This is probably our 3rd summer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Like you said, if you can find something that's efficient and meets your needs and it works, why not? Right. Like,
yeah, that's what it came down to. It was just it's very efficient.
So I'm excited to hear about your growth, where you want to go. What do you think are going to be some of your biggest struggles getting to that number?
To get to that number, it's about being more efficient in our sales process, holding people accountable, making sure we're following the process. We use a ton of coaching, so I have a ton of AI software that we use. So every single salesperson in our organization uses what's called Zero, and Zero goes with you to the conversation, and you say, "Can I record this conversation for notes?" And it listens to your conversation, and then it coaches you on what to say, what not to say, and then halfway through the conversation, it'll tell you how to close them. It'll say, "This is their problem. Use these words." So technology is a big part of it.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Carmen, so wait, do they have a headset on that's kind of...
No, it's an app. It's just an app on your phone, right? And you just sit there and say, "Hey, you mind recording this for notes?" Everyone says yes. No one says no. I mean, in Jersey, you don't even have to ask. Obviously, we do. And that's where we get all our sales information. So we'll know our number one objections for the week, and then we just constantly work on them. And it has a built-in coaching feature. At the end of the day, it'll tell you what you struggled with today, and you could spend a half hour role-playing with the AI to fix your problems that you were dealing out in the field. So to me, it's those little things, retention rate, being better at closing, stuff like that.
What do you find to be the biggest objection? Is it pricing?
It's not. It's always email me the estimate or email me the proposal, which drives me crazy, because if they follow our process, the upfront agreement is, "Hey, I want to do an inspection of your home. Promise me 5 minutes to end this conversation to go over the agreement together," right? You got a lot of that, or I have to talk to my spouse. So there are all things you can overcome. So just getting people to do that. The person thing, just kind of we show value, trying to show value. I think our market company does a good job marketing to our customer base. It's always gonna be top 5, but pricing is never number 1.
So if I have an insect problem, I call Anchor, you guys send a technician sales rep, they'll come in, they'll do an inspection, and then they'll say, "All right, you just got to promise me 5 minutes so I can explain this to you." And then
we sell everything over the phone except for wildlife, termite, and bedbugs, right? So that's the in-person sales process. But yeah, part of our sales process is just to have an upfront conversation. We do Sandler sales system. So a lot of it just, clear future, upfront contract. So then when you get to the end of the process and they say, "Oh, just email me. Oh, remember at the beginning of the conversation, you promised me those 5 minutes. Can I have them now?" And then most people aren't going to say no. So if we follow the rules.
Or would you say you're a good salesman?
No, I would say I'm terrible. I would say this, that years ago, I had a cold caller, an old school guy. He's from like Wall Street. No one liked him in the office. He was very creepy. He fits the whole thing, but he got me so many sales appointments. I had no clue how to sell. I'd go in there and just be like, "Oh, you like baseball?" and try and just do everything on rapport. And then once we went through the training, I'm like, "Oh, if I could actually do it the right way, find someone's pain, I could be a good salesperson." So I would say I'm okay, not great, but I have guys that are pretty good at it.
It's impressive when you speak to a good salesman, how good they really are. Like, it's a talent.
They control you. Like a good salesperson controls the entire conversation, and they have you where they want you the entire time.
Yeah, they're very good talkers. They're manipulative. They know how to work a conversation. It's confident. Yeah. I'm not a good salesperson at all. Jeremy may be a little bit better than I am, but thanks for your credit. So what is your daily role? What do you do every day?
So I'm not overly too involved in day-to-day. So I just jump on calls, like meetings. I like to be with the sales team. So like this morning, I went to a trade show in the morning, and the afternoon, I went to the New Jersey Pest Management event. Outside of that, I have my daily calls. Day-to-day, I don't have, if I'm not here, it still runs. I usually disrupt stuff. We just moved all the CSRs upstairs outside my office, and it's probably the worst thing ever, because now they'll be in the middle of a phone call and I'll jump out like, "Hold on, what did you just say?" So the more I stay out of it, the smoother things kind of run. So my day-to-day is basically look at reports. We have an app that I get all my data on, just check it out, talk to my leadership team, culture, we're real big on culture. So I'll send a text message, "Hey, everyone gets lunch today if you get 5 reviews." So I just, those type of things.
So you mentioned New Jersey PMA.
Yeah.
What's your role there?
I've been on the board for several years. So I just, belong, try and get people to buy in, help other people learn.
Who's the president now?
The current president is Ralph from Bayonne Exterminating.
We're going to have Ralph on here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Ralph's
Is Bill Calley still a part of it?
Bill's there. He was at the table today with us. Yeah, Bill's there.
I love Bill. He's such a good dude. Him and his brother are great guys.
Yeah, they're awesome people.
How about Lenny? I know
Len Douglas.
I don't think he's on. He was never. No, he's not involved. I don't think anymore.
Len was the executive director. He no longer is, but he still teaches classes for us.
Yeah, I think he kind of really retired now. He's kind of taking a bigger step back, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So part of my conversation the other day with this young man, again, 28-year-old guy, he's power wash and we're in pest control. I at the end of the day, I think it's a service, right? And if everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, that's exactly what it is. What is the differentiator for Anchor versus the thousands of other pest control companies in New Jersey? Why is someone going to choose Carme and his team over the local guy? Why?
I think a lot of it's response, right? So to a fault, we used to do everything now. From the very beginning, if you asked me how we grew fast was we answered the phone and we responded quickly, right? Even now, 20 years down the road, still like if a new customer comes in, like we answer calls quickly, like the whole speed to lead thing. You're not going to convert someone unless you answer quickly. And then we stand behind our product. Like I'm not going to, if you want out of a contract, I don't believe in contracts. Like everyone has a contract, but I don't charge cancellation fees, just want to help the customer. So that's a big part of it, and we're always looking to make changes, innovations. Like you're never going to hear me say, this is how we've done it. We switched to Apprehend like 2.5 years ago. Big lift, from a bedbug protocol. People are like, oh, you're crazy. So we went from 3 treatments to 2 treatments. We're doing a ton of apartments. So how do you convince a customer who was paying you for 3 treatments to pay you the same money for 2? We did, but like things like that. We just try and stay on top of stuff.
Quick funny story. I was just in Hawaii for spring break and we're staying at this amazing resort. I don't want to mention it because of this story. I don't want to give them bad karma or whatever. I don't want anything to come back to me, but we're just checking in. Our luggage is in with the bellhops or whatever there are. We're sitting on the beach. We're laying next to this woman and this woman is pregnant. She's hanging out. We're minding her business. We're in the water. I come off and she starts talking to my wife and she's got like these red dots all over her entire body. I'm assuming she's pregnant. She's got some kind of allergic reaction or whatever. So she starts talking to us and she starts crying. She's like, oh my God, there was bed bugs. I'm like, what? I'm like, no way. These bed bugs did this to you in the place that I'm staying. I'm spending this type of money at. I am like terrified now. I'm thinking about where my bag and my luggage is in the room. Like, is there like they can transfer there? Like, what is going on here? So I get into this suite and I start like tearing this whole thing apart from the couch to the bed to the mattress. Like, it was just like terrifying.
Yeah, we did tons of bed bugs for years. At one point, it was probably 40% of my business was bed bugs with the dogs and the treatments and stuff. But when it comes to tearing apart your room, I don't do that anymore. Like people
in hotels, no,
I don't. Like I did for like a while, and now I'm like, if it happens, it happens. Like, but it's a problem. It'll drive people crazy.
So like, I mean, that had to be like a one-off situation, right? Because these rooms are probably service and maintenance all the time, right? Like
it's bad luck, man. Like people like, oh, it's the hotel. They're lacking. It's the person before you,
right?
Like it's just bad luck.
Yeah, they're hitchhikers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, man. And then I was ski like on an airplane, like just like it's just people who travel a lot. Like it could be like that one person that has them, and all of a sudden, boom.
It's what keeps me out of movie theaters. My son loves going to movies. I say, go with your mother, because the movie theater thing from the beginning when it came out, I just sit there and that's all I could think about.
Now, was there like in 2005 or when you first started, bed bugs, was that a bigger thing back then than it is now, or more of a problem than it is now?
It was like 2007 is when it really started exploding. It was way bigger because all over media, you would get higher infestations. Now people are more aware, so you're finding them at lower infestations. Our bed bug numbers stayed consistent. There's no like pops. But yeah, during like when it was going crazy, like the stuff that was going on with bed bugs was crazy.
You get into mosquitoes yet?
We do a little bit. I don't love the tick a mosquito thing because I feel the competition's too much now. Like the landscaper can do it a lot cheaper and more affordable. So we do it. It's tough. I know you guys did really well with it. You guys probably got out at the right time before all the landscapers got in. So it's hard. Like, we need 125 a service. They're doing it for 55. It's very hard to compete. So I try not to do anything standalone. Only tick a mosquito if you're a Pest client, like in a bundle.
You do exterior treatments for your residential pest control?
Yeah, we do 3 times a year exterior only, unless you call us inside.
Yeah, it's typical, right?
Yeah, we don't do a winter service. I kind of learned that from Viking. Viking doesn't do a winter service unless you ask for it. So everything's squeezed between April through October, kind of like I'm sure when you guys are doing tick a mosquito was the same thing. So staffing for that comes a little tricky. That's what the commercial kind of helps. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's just the way we built it, and it works pretty good. And for retention standpoint, it's hard living in Jersey to say, hey, let me come out in the middle of January when it's snowing to go inside your house. It's my feeling on it.
So we talked about, your start. We talked about like that 2 million mark and you hiring that VP. And what about the $5 million mark? And I'm interested in that because that's kind of like when we were like, all right, I think that's enough for us. We knew that was our top and that we were able to kind of capitalize and do what we wanted to do. What did you feel like? Did you feel like there was a different step from that point to where you're at 8.2? And then do you think there's going to be a different level once you get to 10 or 15? Where do you think that next jump is?
I mean, for me specifically, was getting a CFO, someone that really knows numbers, right? So about 5 million, I brought in a CFO. I'm like, yeah, I had a gut. Like I would see money coming. I would see the P&L, whatever. but predicting cash flow is very difficult. I would do crazy things. We'd have a budget. It would be busted by like the first quarter because I wouldn't follow it. So I think getting more disciplined and listen to what my CFO tells me, what the numbers actually say was huge for us. Because now I know what I could spend and where we're going to be. Like how much I put into the machine.
So will your CFO say, all right, listen, Carmen, we're over budget here, and then give you recommendations? Or is he just providing you with the numbers and then you have to decide what to do with them? Or is he kind of strategizing with you also?
He strategized, but part of the deal was I said, if you're going to come on, I knew him for years. If you're going to come on with us, you got to be honest with me. Tell me that I'm wrong. I'm not right. I'm not that smart of a person. If I'm messing something up, please just let me know. So after like 6 to 8 months, he finally started saying stuff like, oh, he would tell me all the numbers, but now he's like, this is way out of whack. We got to fix this. And so then we strategized together, which has been huge because now again, it's more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for
what do you like I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good.
No, I was gonna ask what your typical margins would be for you to kind of be like happy. But let's go back to what we were saying. So before I disrupted you and kind of got off topic, that $5 million mark, hiring the CFO, and then you were going to say there's something else also.
Yeah, I think the next step is just getting strong service managers, good leaders. I'm bringing in someone. We just hired her a couple of days ago. That's going to take over our sales and customer service team, so we can have someone more focused on operations. Just I think getting more focused people at a higher level to really like look for problems. Like you can't be finding every problem at $10 million, right? Because then it's too late. So just being proactive, looking through certain reports, catching things, finding inefficiencies, and just keeping the structure, because as we grow, everything kind of changes. And so do the people. So that's been a big thing. My leadership team at 2 million is not what it is now. It's different people. We progress as a company, people have to progress as people, or you have different people in those seats. So that's, I think, just the changing of people is a big part of it.
Do you happen to have anybody that has grown organically within the business to a higher position?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot. So my original, probably funny story. I lost my license, made a dumb mistake at 26. So one of my friends came to work with me as my driver, so I could keep the business going. And he's like the vice president of operations. He'd been with me from the beginning. So he grew from driving me around when I didn't have a driver's license to
you owed him one.
It immediately became a full-time job. So he grew from helping me out to technician and then to operations manager, and he's been there from the beginning, and he continues to grow too. So, and then we've tried the tech to service manager thing. It's been a struggle. So tech to lead, tech has been a better fit. And then I have some good technicians who I steal for sales because they just got great personalities. And operations always like, why do you keep taking all the good guys? I'm like, well, because they're better served, in a sales position or, QA or something outside of just technician roles.
Yeah. Holding on to guys are really important. Now, speaking about like your employees, what is your hiring process? I mean, because that's probably one of the hardest things to do is finding guys like that, good guys that you want to keep on or guys that you want to grow with. What's the hiring process look like at Anchor?
So I do the first screening of everyone. So I'll put the ads up, I'll do phone interviews. And what I really look for is people who follow our core values. So what I've learned through the years is all those core value jokes I used to hear, used to laugh about. Yeah, culture is a joke. I just want someone to show up and not crash the truck, right? Because that's how I thought for many, many years. But once we just started finding people who fit our culture and have the same goals and are motivated and competitive, you could train them to do pest control. And that's kind of how we do it. So I just look for good people, bring them on and train them on the pest control part. And as long as they're aligned, and competitive is a big one for us because everything's a metric, everything's a number. Majority of our techs we give little money for reviews, leads. So a lot of guys are making some really good money by getting reviews and leads. So we constantly talk about it. So that's a big part of the hiring process for us is just the culture piece. I don't look for people who've been in pest control for 15 years. I don't really want that. I just want solid people who are going to show up, have a good attitude, and are competitive and want to work.
Sounds like from when we first started this conversation and from when you first started your journey as an entrepreneur, you've grown a lot, right? Like I think your mindset has shifted, like from not focusing on culture and values and financials, and you have grown a lot as an owner.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, this is what I say: if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So, like for me, if we're just stagnant, like, hey, we're at $2 million, we're making great margin, right? But that bores me. Like I want constant growth. So I'm like a bit of a geek when it comes to podcasts and home service events. So I'll do a ton of home service events outside of pest control just to learn, because a lot of those other fields are way ahead of us. So I'll take what I learn outside of pest control and kind of bring it into pest control. So like the coaching software. And
what specific industries do you have any industries that you would recommend someone go to that may be a little bit more advanced?
I think HVAC, Tommy Mello, those guys are really ahead of it. So I went to a Tommy Mello event. I actually heard him on another podcast years ago. I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty smart. So I started listening to his podcast. So then I went out to his event. I did did a local event. Lance Bachman, he's a roofing guy, Philadelphia. Like his stuff was like, they were like speed to lead. I'm like, what does this even mean? And then I started, speed to lead, like, how quickly you respond. And then, how you automate certain things. Like we automate all of our speed to lead stuff. So like, we're a lot quicker. Like people hate Home Advisor and Angie's. I love it, right? Because you send it to 3 people, we're the first person to respond. So just like picking up little things like that you would never get in pest control, because I'm sure you guys see in the forum, someone says Home Advisor, everyone hates it. It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And it's just because the mindset's different.
Yeah, I look at Home Advisor, Angie's and stuff, and I'm not a fan, but I haven't had experienced it or
we don't use it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about any of the lead.
Personally, I don't use it.
It is the cost of the lead is 3 times less, right? So you're going to get an average Google lead now. I'm paying like $100, $125. The leads on Angie's Home Advisor are like $45. So even if I close at half, it's still a cheaper lead, a cheaper customer. And the key for them, they are going to multiple people. So you got to be quick to respond. So a lot of people go on too early in their journey in business and don't have the staff to respond, and they get a bad taste in their mouth and then never go back.
Yeah. Have you tried door to door?
Have not. I've flirted with him numerous times, but I never could pull the trigger. I always say I'm going to, but it's a whole different business.
It's a whole nother animal.
It's a whole different
animal. It really is.
And I don't know like how well it works in our area. Like I know some companies do it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I love everyone that does it. I'm just not.
Yeah. A lot. You were like, I'm in a group chat and they always go after the door knockers, and I always stick up for them. So last night the conversation started and they're like, can you just be on our team for 1 minute? I'm like, I see the bad, but I also see the good. They expanded our market, right? So without door knockers, these people, like our pest control market got much bigger because they're creating customers that weren't there. So that's why I like it.
Right. So it's creating opportunity once they drop the ball for you to kind of swoop in underneath them kind of.
Yeah. That's what I look at. That's how I look at it.
So I noticed, do you have over 17,000 reviews on Google?
I have 7,500 at our main location, 3,000 in North Jersey, 2,500 in Pennsylvania, and like another 1,000. So yeah, it's close to 1,200, maybe 12,000.
Dude, that's a lot. What are you doing to generate those type of reviews?
It's part of our culture, right? So like everyone gets paid for the review, getting a review, right? So when I interview, I say, are you competitive? Do you want to ask for reviews? So we just ask. We use a QR code, right? They scan it. And now with a QR code, I'm not asking you for your email address, your phone number. I'm just standing with you. Hey, can you scan this and write us a review? And our guys, it's just part of the culture. They talk about it. It's part of their bonus structure. It's kind of just part of everything we do. Although I just did read something a couple of days ago that Google's now doesn't want you putting text names in reviews because they feel that
I saw that also.
You're trying to get reviews, which I thought you were trying to get reviews. So Google changed.
You're soliciting reviews, right?
Yeah.
You
so
said
Google,
the other day you posted something on one of the forums about this, and there was a lot of other things on there too that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think you should be able to ask for, if you ask for a tip, why can't you ask for a review? I feel it's the same exact thing. There's no difference, right? I actually rather ask for a review than a tip. So I don't know why Google's making this change. I hope it doesn't happen and they go back and take down the reviews, because most people, even when we do it, like, so it goes through our software too. So even like the ones we're not asking for, they mention who serviced their house. So I'm not understanding the logic behind this, but it's something we're trying to adjust. I said, guys, stop asking them to put your name in the reviews. Like, just gotta adjust and try and keep going forward.
The email says, leave us a review. Like, you have to ask.
Yeah. Like, what's the difference? Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I would say it's part of our culture. We talk about it. I have technicians, who get a decent base, are making an extra, let's call it $5 to $10 per hour by getting reviews, by getting leads, by turning different contests we do. And that's kind of the environment we push. Like, I want people to work. Like, I believe in earn, not given, right? I want someone that's been here for 6 months to be able to make someone as much as they've been here for 6 years, just by the effort you put into your job. So that's kind of why our reviews are where they are. It's because we talk about it.
If I pulled one of your technicians aside and said, hey, what do you think of Carme as your boss? What do they tell me?
I'm going to say safely they like me, because that's why I stay out of it. You said, what do I do day to day? I don't do any of the bad conversations, so they like me. So I always come with the positivity, except for when I get one of their trucks and it's just disgusting, which happens too much, right? Like it actually, yeah. Besides for that, they would probably like me because we try and still keep, one of our values to be family. I changed it to team because family, they ask for too much, but like, I'm still an open book. People will call us. Like, I still do things I shouldn't do, like as far as like, lending people money and different things. I
think that's important.
It is, like, yeah, like I was them, like I'm never above anything. So I think majority of them would probably like me on most days.
Yeah.
Their managers,
these guys are coming and showing up to work for you guys, right? So
yeah,
we had technicians, I'm sure you did the same, who didn't have money to get a root canal, right? He wore this backpack all day long and all he was, and his tooth was all he he felt was a vibration in his tooth and he couldn't afford it. He paid for it. It's like
just
things like that.
The little things. Like I try to be a good person, right? I believe in karma. That's the big thing I believe in. So like if I can help someone, I'm going to help, and that's kind of how we've been doing it from the beginning and still trying to do it. Like we just started something the other day. There's a new company, which is crazy, that will let someone, if you work Monday, get paid on Tuesday, right? So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. What's it going to cost the guys? I figure now they're going to pay a ton of money. They only charge them $5. I said to the guy, how are you going to make money? And he says, it's volume. So now we put this program in place. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a Utah company. Basically, they could get this almost a payday loan for $5, which I think is great. Like if they need their money a couple days early, have at it. So we try to do little things like that. Company picnics, barbecues.
That's different. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. That's pretty cool. Next day pay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your core values. What are your core values?
I'm not going to, last time I did something, I forgot them. I know them now. It's team, always find the positive, reliable, reasonable, competitive is huge. And I think that's it. For me, it's always, I'm a very positive person. Like I'm always in a good mood. I don't stay cranky long. Like I had a technician cut a telephone pole in half on Saturday. Like legitimately fell asleep, drove through a telephone pole. Thank God everything's okay. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry, man. Be happy you're alive.
You're alive,
like, what do you want me to
dude.
say? Yeah. Like, so being positive is huge to me. I hate negativity. I don't want to be around it. And then I like people who always want to get better. So strive for excellence is one of them. So like, what are you doing in your personal life? Like, do you go to the gym? Do you play video games, play music? Like, what are you doing to better yourself? Because that kind of goes along with our company.
I want to go back to you mentioned earlier that you review part of your daily duties or your responsibilities or things that you check in on are your numbers. What are some of the KPIs that you track?
So we track probably too much, but what I look at is, all right, how many leads came in, right? How many did we book? Meaning, did we give an appointment? So I look for a drop off, right? So that tells me if our marketing company is doing a good job, meaning they're bringing us in quality leads. Then I look at production from the day before, right? What is the average tech doing in production from the day before? Deposits received, that's a big one. I like to watch the money coming into the bank. Average phone call length, like stuff like that. We have a ton of different things that we look at. But for me, that's I like to look at production done for the day and new opportunities.
So number of leads a day is typically around what would you say? What's your, like the number you want to see?
On a good day, probably like 50, 50 is it.
And how are you generating most of those leads? Is it through Angie? Is it all the different platforms?
It's all different platforms. It's everything. It's all that stuff. Like it's referrals, it's LSA, it's Angie's. Like I did something I said I wouldn't do. Like I went back to another marketing company after having a great year, not spending any money on marketing, and I'm spending a ton of money on marketing and I want to see the results, right? So like that's really a majority of it. And the brand piece, like the brand piece is big. I think in pest control, people don't really think about the brand. And that's what I watched in other home services, like the power of a brand. Like Dan Antonelli from Kick Charge always talks about it. I seen him speak. I read his book. I'm like, oh, this actually makes sense. Like if people remember your logo, they're going to remember to call you.
Huge.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of business.
Yeah, it is.
Production wise, what do you expect out of your technicians daily?
Our daily goal is 1,200. That's the goal. So this time of year, residential tech could do 2,000, but on average, because commercial is lower, our goal is usually 1,200.
I think it's fair. And average call length.
This is one I struggle with. Like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, right, is what we shoot for. But this is something I changed my mind on. Certain people are just better on longer conversations. Like,
right.
So we look at it. We have scoreboards everywhere in our office, so they know how long it was. Like we know how many missed calls they have. So like they see everything. But I've realized is certain people need some more.
Do you say you have missed calls? You can't have missed calls, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, we have AI that answers it, but I can tell you who was on Do Not Disturb and didn't take the call when it was their turn of the rotation. That's one of the big numbers. So yeah, I think just showing people, what you're actually doing and accomplishing throughout the day helps a lot.
How does that AI answering service work? Are you happy with it? I'm sure you probably use it for overflow and like nights and weekends.
Yeah. So I don't like voicemail. Yeah, I don't like voicemail. So we use a Volca. It's pretty good. I'm not using it to sell. Basically, they just call up, take a message, new customer, existing customer. If you're a new customer, you want to schedule service, we'll give you a time for the next day. Someone will call you back in the morning to confirm the time range. So it's basically taking messages. So the next person on will just, I have someone live till 10 o'clock every night, except for Sundays. So it's not a ton of it, but I don't, voicemails. Once you get a voicemail, you're done.
How many calls do you get between 8 and 10 o'clock at night?
I wish I had this. I don't have it in front of me, but from 5 to 7, believe it or not, is a lot of phone calls.
Busy.
So,
I believe that.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, people are done with work. It's the window of opportunity for them to reach out to somebody. No, definitely.
The person that works at 10 o'clock, that's mostly just like they do a lot of the data entry and like getting the information throughout the day. And we have a lot of VAs, so the time change is a little better for them to work to 10 o'clock at night, and they get a lot of the work done.
Where are your VAs out of?
Philippines, some from Spain, a couple from Mexico.
You source them yourself, or did you use a company?
I've used a couple different companies throughout, whoever had the best candidates, right? So to me, it's kind of like a job website. You put it out to them, they send you the candidates, you get to hear their voice, their resume, you interview it. So just really, sometimes, as weird as it sounds, some companies have a ton of good people, sometimes they have no one. So we've gone through a couple different companies, and some referrals. We're getting more referrals now. Like we have one of our VAs been with us for like 3 years. We have 3 of his referrals. Oh, you have a friend that wants to work here, so that's worked well too.
Do you have a personal assistant?
Me, no.
No. I
should.
Maybe one of the VAs kind of help. Yeah.
I should, because I'll book 2 hotel rooms for the same event constantly. So that happens. That happens more than you like to think. Where I show up, they're like, "Oh, Mr. Reino, you have 2 rooms today." I'm like, "Oh," because I booked it in January when it first came out, and then I booked it last week when I forgot that I booked it. Yeah. So.
So you're really growing this business. It's really exciting. What is your mindset? Are you growing this for an exit? Are you growing it for legacy? Where's your head at with that?
It's an exit. I tell I have a 13-year-old son and I have 2 older
stepdaughters. He said it quick. He said it's an exit.
No, this is not even a conversation. And they've known this forever. Like, my daughter's successful. They have a salon. We put them in the salon business. They do well. My son's 13. He can't even do his homework. Never mind run a business. And I've seen too many second generation companies. This is going to sound terrible. Deteriorate at second generation. And I'll be alive and good to do. I don't want to watch it. So I'll set them up in whatever they want to do, help them as much as I can. But there will be an exit one day, 100%.
I love that. I think it's great. You set a goal, you push that goal, and then you reap the benefits of it, right? You work hard for.
Yeah. And instead of giving it away and hoping they don't, I don't know. I never been a legacy guy. I never thought about passing it down. I always knew I built it to sell it. That was kind of like the process, make it a profitable business, not a job.
Do you think that mindset was from day one, or did you, as again, that M&A started picking up in the pest control industry? And I don't know, what year was that? So maybe, what was it, 26, 20, I don't know, was it 2012 or so? When did M&A start to really boom in pest control?
I don't know the exact year for me. I would say probably I was 5 years in the business, telling you what you could sell a company for. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, well, this is probably what's going to happen eventually, because I'm not going to save that much. If you really think of it, that's what it comes down to. So, and then just watching the market, paying attention to it, listen to podcasts like yours, listen to other guys do things. It just becomes I don't want to say a no-brainer, right? But for me, I don't want to have to tell my kids what they have to do for a living, right? All right, I'm in pest control. Now they have to take over this business. All the pressure in the world is on them to take over a pest control company. Maybe they don't want to do that, and I feel you put pressure on your kids by saying, I'm going to pass it down to them. That's just my opinion.
Carmen, how old are you?
I am 46.
46 years young. We're 44, not too far behind you. How does your daughter like the salon industry? She has her own business?
Yeah, she does well. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, she does well. She does. She'll always get it done. But I'm very proud of her. She's 26. She has her own house. Some of my friends don't have their own house and they're 46. So she does well. She's a worker.
That's great. East Brunswick, I think of the mosquito guy with the cop one. Not the cop. Mosquito Shield? New Jersey
Mosquito Shield. Mosquito Patrol, yeah.
Patrol, yeah.
He actually moved.
So where in East Brunswick are you?
I'm on Route 8, right off Route 18. Kind of, what would you say? It used to be Liberty Travel. Now it's a vape shop. There's 400 vape shops. Right across from the Acme and the Stewart's Root Beer. It's tough because the whole thing's ripped up. Every store in Route 18's gone now, yeah. So it's
Viking used to be down that way too.
Yes, I'm a little. It's funny. I bought my building and then 2 months later, Vikings went for sale, and I text Ryan, the owner. I'm like, bro, why didn't you tell me? He's like, oh, you could buy it now. I'm like, it's too late. I'm ready. I'm closing in 2 weeks.
So since you're building for an exit, right? At what point did you say, all right, because I think you're being strategic about the way you're reallocating your commercial to your residential business. At what point were you like, all right, we need to start, not downside, but increasing residential, also understanding that it's not all about revenue, but more about profitability and EBITDA. What point were you focusing on those types of things?
I mean, when it's hard to make payroll because you're waiting for a check, right? That's not fun in commercial world. You're waiting to get paid. But 3.5, 4 years ago, I really light bulb went off.
That's a real thing, right, Carmen? That's a real thing. I couldn't
Yeah,
run a
well,
bit. That's a lot of weight to bear on your shoulders.
when you're doing mostly commercial, and if anyone tells you anything differently, like certain times of the year they pay fast, right? Certain times of the year they pay slow. So I mean, unless you're really disciplined, which you can be, but you're usually just waiting to get paid. So the instant money of residential is good. That's kind of why we got into wildlife too, because now, we do the monthly billing for our residential customers. I want everyone to be recurring. They're not, but I want. But now I need high value one-time work with big margins to pay for the marketing. And that's kind of why we got into wildlife, outside of the fact that we do HOAs and condo associations, and the only things they pay for is termite and wildlife. So we lose out a lot of termite because we didn't do the wildlife. So that's what got me into the wildlife, and it's instant money.
If you had to give, an operator who is, starting out today, right, 3 bits of advice, what would they be?
Keep it simple, right? Like if you start from the beginning and have a lot of discipline, just do everything recurring, right? Implement. One of the reasons why we grow fast is because if I go somewhere and I learn something, I'm going to do it. I don't think about it. Come back and we just do it. Nothing's going to be perfect. People are like, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect time to try this, try that. No, the perfect time is now, right? So anything I learn and I want to try and do, we do it immediately. Because again, a lot of people spend tons of time at conferences learning, but you do nothing with it. It's kind of useless. And then the last thing, just take care of your people and customers, right? Like that seems simple, right? But you see a lot of people like, oh, I just want the guy to show up. I don't really care. You got to care, right? Because it'll come back and it'll compound through the years, taking care of people, taking care of customers. So those would be the 3 key things that I would really say.
That's great advice. I think a lot of people, if you're going to spend money and go to the PMA, the National Pest Control Management Association out in, where is it this year, Denver, come home with something, right? And then implement it, right? Do something with that information.
Yeah.
If you're going to lean on somebody and someone calls you, I'm sure, Carmen, you have people reach out to you on social media or whatever, or I DMs you, and they ask you a question and you kind of give them some advice. Wrong with it. Go with it, right? Like kind of like, don't be afraid to fail. A lot of people are afraid to fail. They fall down.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of change too.
Yes, change. And especially in this industry, change and fail. Everyone like great businesses, but they don't want to change and they don't want to fail. Like I've failed so many times, it's not even funny. So I enjoy it. That's how you learn.
What is one of the worst decisions you made in business?
So buying 2 companies, right? So you fall into this, buy a company to grow, buy a company to grow. And you're talking to someone who bought companies like, oh, if you could buy this company for $1 for $1 and your model, it's worth 3. And you fall into this, right? And the whole time in my gut, knowing that, well, their revenue is not good revenue and it's underpriced. Well, it doesn't matter. All these companies do it correctly. So I made 2 acquisitions in the last 4 years. I'd call them both failures. So I would say, if you're going to buy a company, make sure culture aligns with you and it's profitable in your business and can be profitable in your business quickly.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. I got my dog running around here causing all kinds of noise too.
No, I had this on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, that'd be my main thing is, for me, I know people have done it well. I have 2 good friends in the industry that majority of their growth has been through acquisitions. They do great with it. For me, it just wasn't good. That was probably our biggest mistake. I don't really consider it a mistake. I just consider it like something I would not do again.
How big was the company you acquired?
I bought one company, was like $450,000 and another one was like $300,000.
And you obviously lost a lot of customers.
One of them
didn't retain.
So I retained some of them. One of them was a wildlife company, so there was no recurring work, right? And within 3 months, I was got rid of all
the name. And
I bought the name and I bought the skill set, right? So everyone like, oh, buy the skill set. Well, the skill set didn't last more than 90 days because the culture fit was just terrible. Like good people, but like the stuff they would say to customers, I was just like, I'd rather just figure it out on my own. The other company, his customers used to him doing everything for one price. I'm going to pay $100 a month. I'll clean your basement, right? And that's not how we operate. So it was a cultural struggle for them and for us. But yeah, that's my biggest lesson when it comes to mistakes the last couple of years.
Where do you see the industry going in a couple of years? Do you see it changing much? I mean, with AI and everything else that's going on, what do you see happening to the pest control?
What I really see is going to be bigger gaps. Like I know most companies are 1 or 2 man operations, but if you don't adapt to the technology, you're going to get past like so much quicker. So I see it being 1 man operations and then just huge companies that adopt the technology, that make the changes, because that's what's going to really, like, I think that's anything, not just pest control. I think just the world we're in right now, like you either adopt the technology or you get past. So I see like a further gap from small to big, if that's even possible, but like, and a lot of more consolidation.
More consolidation. Do you think all the consolidation that's happening, do you think it's going to leave more opportunities for people to come back in and just be those like smaller family owned businesses that can then eventually scale up again?
100%. Like, yeah, I mean, something big has happened in New Jersey. Hoffman's was bought by Arrow. So Arrow's usually from the South. Now they're coming to the East Coast. So we're going to see a lot more of that, I think, right? Which does create opportunity. Like, I love when a company sells around us because you're going to pick up half their customers. So yeah, definitely to bounce back into it and build with structure. Yeah, there's tons of opportunities.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how many guys are, so you have like the ones that I think of are like Anchor, I think of you, but I don't know, I think of Cowley's, but I don't know that many companies in New Jersey that are around that, $5 to $10 million mark who are still family owned or owner operated.
Horizon's pretty big. They're family owned. They're probably the biggest in New Jersey outside of Hoffman's, I would guess. Horizon, I think Excel's pretty big. I'm not too sure, but I know Horizon is a big size company. But yeah, you're right. There's no more Viking. Cooper's gone. Yeah, small, mid-size.
It leaves more opportunity for people that want to get involved. Carmen, I know you have to go. You have some practices you got to get to.
I bring my
going
son
to the gym. What do you got?
My son goes to a trainer, so I'm bringing him to the trainer. He has a speed and agility trainer. He's a lineman.
Like sports training?
Yeah, sports trainer. Yeah, he plays football. I coach football. He plays football.
Nice.
So somehow he's taller than me at 13 already. Almost weighs the same amount that I weigh. So he needs to work on his speed and agility. So he goes to a speed and agility guy 3 days a week to try and make him faster, move quicker.
That's great, man. That's awesome. He's going to be high school next year?
He'll be 8th grade next year. Yeah, he's a 7th grader.
Well, listen, I don't want to keep you any longer. I appreciate your time. It was awesome talking to you. I'm sure there's a lot of like great information in this podcast for our listeners to kind of pull from. Best of luck in the future hitting that. What was the goal? 11.2, 11.5?
11 even is the goal this year. 11 flat.
You're going to hit it. You're going to hit it.
We're going to try. We're going to try.
Competitive edge, I think you're going to get it.
Yeah.
You got your CFO and your VP pushing you along. I think you're going to be good. I love it. You surround yourself with great people, have awesome culture and climate, got your core values. You're all set, man. Good luck.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. And I watch you guys.
I appreciate this, bud.
Very, very impressive what you guys did. So you should be proud of yourselves.
I appreciate that. That means a lot,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Really does.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.